Are they gonna shoot missiles or something?
All right, welcome to Coconut Daddy Show. Today, the podcast is going to be talking about the movie 100 Days with Mr. Arrogant, which is one that when I started watching some of the Korean romance, this is one that I've watched a while back and I thought was super, super cute. I think you remember a movie. Did you ever see My Sassy Girl when it came out? It was a big one for them, and I had that one, but this is 100 Days with Mr. Arrogant. I kind of like 100 Days with Mr. Arrogant better than My Sassy Girl. But that was the big one. I think there was like a sequel to that one. And these are, of course, the original, these were internet fictions that they had. But I had like a lot of collection, and this wasn't in the collection that I had. But like I'd get the collection of the Chinese gangster movies, which I really like with Andy Lau. Pretty good. You know that one that they remade in America won an Oscar. It had Jack Nicholson and of course Leonardo DiCaprio and all those people were in it. And it was originally a Chinese gangster film with Andy Lau would make those Chinese gangster films, and they're really good. And I like those. I got a collection pack of those, and then I get the Korean romance that come with those as well. And of course, this music is a little bit different than when the K-pop got really, really big, but I really, really like it. I like the music in this.
I hope I watched the right one then.
What's that?
Okay, yeah, I did. I was just making sure I did watch the right one.
Yeah, the
But
100 Days with
yeah,
Mr. Henry. Okay,
I was
just
like, I hope I got the right one because it was like it gave me like the Chinese feel that I didn't think this one was
you
Korean.
didn't feel like it was Korean film. Oh, I felt
No,
Korean to
that's
me.
why I was like,
One thing you know with Korean is the girl outfits. Those girls' schoolgirl outfits are always
yeah,
like the more the sailor cut, and the Japanese, of course, are a little bit more plaid and look like more like the British versions. And
that's what
then
confused me a little bit because
yeah,
like the Chinese one always have like the skirt below the knees or near the knees.
yeah,
And like the Korean ones have it like mid thigh, lower mid thigh.
yeah.
And it was like, you know, either a bow or a full tie, not like that little cut half tie. It's always like the Chinese uniform. And I was like, whoa, this must be an older Korean one.
Well, this was 2004, so you hadn't seen it before. I introduced this to you.
I've seen like part of it. Like I thought this was the
Yeah,
one that we saw. I thought this was the one,
um,
but it was actually I was actually thinking this when she started dating the CEO one.
yeah,
That's the
that's a
one I was
no.
thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't
I
even
got them
think of that one was
confused.
called. But like I said,
I
I
can't
probably
either.
that sounds like one I saw too. There's so many of them, but I mean it's a little bit different. Like I said, there's some that I mean they just don't do the like the rom coms and the romance and the horror, which is like, but there are some that are really really good that
Mhm.
you don't get to. They get like awards and all that. Well, the thing is, everybody's talking about this new one that won Academy Awards, of course, the Parasite, but you know that's not in the sense of while these were very popish, but the thing is about them, they're very very cute, and that's what I always loved about their rom-coms is like the main biggest problem with a lot of rom-coms is like none of the characters are likable. It's like these characters are very dislikable, but they're so cute that you forget how dislikable they are. So that charisma is there, super. I mean, it's super, super there, the charisma. And so it's like they can get away with a lot of things, I guess, a lot people without charisma couldn't get away with,
Mhm.
which works fine with me because it's very popish and it's supposed to be, and it's got pop music feel, and it's fun. I mean it's like this movie is for fun, and then of course then it has that drop for the romance part because I didn't know how romances are written when I first saw it, but now I know how it does because you have to have that. I don't think the
The
word.
hook.
Yeah, you have to. Well, you have to have that time away. I call it part because, like, if you don't have that yearning away from each other, then the audience doesn't feel. And they do that in a lot of romance, but this is done really, really well because this is the
Really.
first time I really saw it because I was like, dang, they're not going to get back together.
I was like, no,
Were
no,
you
because like
crying?
I was like, no,
There
she
was
did all
one
this
I can't even
work.
remember. I don't know if this is the one that brought me to tears or not. I can't remember. There was one I was watching where it was like it was a Korean romance. It was like, oh God, stop it! You're torturing me so much.
Goblin got me to tears.
But I mean, in a good way because it makes you feel. It's like it's like a
It made me
romance.
feel sad.
No, I'm talking about like romance feels. Oh yeah, you did have that sheriff and the boy thing. That's right. Yeah. But anyways, like you have this girl, and like so she's senior in her school, and then you have this boy who's already started college, and he is Mr. Arrogant. Is that correct? And he is probably the. Would you say he's very charismatic? Now, as a male, it's hard for me to tell.
Near the end, yes.
But I'm saying,
Like near the end.
yeah. Do you feel like though? I mean, did they say he was cute? All right, that's what all the girls said. Now, do you felt that way too?
I'm not gonna lie, he was cute, but he was arrogant. So
Yeah.
it like crushed it.
Right.
When they first met, I was like, oh, he's cute, and then he was like trying to like, say that's like $3,000 and stuff, and
Yeah.
like, and then all that making her do all that. I was like, hey, not so cute no more. And then he became cute again.
Yeah. Well, here's my theory. Okay. And this is what I take of it. And you can, and I'm talking about these two characters. I feel like she's 17 and she's not like matured. So she's got this fantasy world she lives in. Okay. And then like he is trying to get by on his looks. Is that fair to say at this time, at the beginning? We're starting at the beginning because you'll see her transition to a more mature character later. And then I think he changes kind of as well because he gets a reality check from her mom.
I don't really know.
I mean, how do you feel like with her? I think there's a change in her more than he.
Oh, there's definitely a change
because she's like starts. This is my theory. Like I said, she's really immature. Like she's 17 and she wants the fantasy romance, everything like that. And so she's very immature and she goes through all these. Like fantasies to kind of deal with it. And then he's like trying to get by on his looks because he's young and everything. And he get away with a lot of things because he's cute, right? Is that what you see at the beginning? This is at the beginning. I'm not talking about like when we get the changes here and there.
I'm not really sure. Like, yeah, it's probably because I don't know if it's because he thinks he's like good looking. I think it's because he thinks he's rich.
Yeah. Well, you
That's
think
why I think
so? You're
he can
thinking
get
it's
away
not
with anything.
that he's cute, but he's got that like power
That
behind
fame.
it. Like he feels like he's the boss. Kind of deal. Like he's got to feel like
he
he's
can buy his way out.
Yeah, like he's the boss. Well, you think it's the rich? You don't think it's the cute? It's more the money power thing.
Yeah, because there was like some other cute boys that probably weren't rich.
Yeah.
And they weren't paying attention to him at all.
So it's a combination. It's a combination.
Yeah, I think it's a combination.
Because I was trying to figure that one out.
I think the prettiness gave it like a boost.
Yeah.
But it's probably because the payment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know it's like when I was younger, I compare because like when I was younger, and I'm not gonna brag, but I was a handsome little dude when I was 18 or 17 years old. And it is kind of weird when you have like the younger girls chasing you, you got charismatic and all that kind of thing. Like I remember there was like 14-year-old girls like literally camping out at my house and like crap like that, and it was really creepy and stuff. But you understand they're just immature little girls, and they'll grow up out of that. And then of course, you get older, you lose that, and you miss it because you don't have that power with the charismatic. But I do know, like, it is tough because, like I said, if you added let's say I had country club status during that time, which I didn't, but I did. Let's say if I did, yeah, I'd add that on top of that. And I'm kind of glad I didn't because I would have been probably a super jerk. And I've said this, like, not being spoilt really made the man that I am today, because if I was a spoiled brat, like in a good looking kid too as well, can you imagine the demon you would have created? Because you're talking about, like he said, like this guy, he could get bored and then he can abuse his power, and that's pretty much what happens. Because, and it's kind of cruel. It wasn't kind of cruel. It is cruel. Let's say it is very, very cruel what he does. And but that's it. That's our two characters. Like I said, Kei Ha Young and An Ha Young Hoon, which is her, played by Kim Jae-won, and then of course Ha Ji-won is of course him. He's plays his character, and they're the focus of the character. And so we have this girl, and like I said, let's start out. She's doing this fantasy start out, right?
That's what that confused me for like for 1/3 of a show. It's like, you know how she's dreaming this fantasy of Snow White, right? But her prince has blonde hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So the male lead is gonna have blonde hair. And then I see like the male lead has black hair and his best friend has blonde hair. And I was like, hold up now, wait a minute. I don't remember her getting with the blonde headed dude. I was like,
well, I don't, like I said, I kind of take it like that sets up her character. Like she's not living in reality. That's what I think. And then like the funniest thing is to get your attention, they start out with body horror humor. And it works because it does grab your attention. I think it's there because after that, they don't really do that, which is kind of strange. Most movies like, oh, we got some body horror humor, and then we'll just stick with it. They don't do that. That's just to get your attention, like to focus on the teacher, scolding her, the creepy little friends she's got, not creepy, immature friends that she's got, more or less. And then it just establishes those characters. Like the one girl's sitting on the toilet, squeezing out one, trying to explain the whole thing to her.
The dream. She's trying to be as helpful as she can with her situation.
I've heard worse things than that about your true love. Like there was a game the girls used to play, and if you would cook like macaroni and cheese or something, and then walk backwards, and then you would sit on the bed, and how did it work? Like if you saw a casket in the noodles, like it would mean that you're not going to get married ever. If you don't see a casket, then you're going to meet the man of your dreams. Weird stuff like that. Girls used to play games like that. I don't think you play that. Did you play anything like that when you were younger? But that's basically
like you playing voodoo stuff.
Oh no, we just bring down a chicken, and then after that we
play with the black magic. So like you do.
So that establishes that character. And so then, on top of to add insult to injury, because she doesn't think she's going to meet the man of her dreams. And she's not talking like she likes this guy anyways. On her 100th day, anniversary.
Oh, that made me so mad too.
What happens?
Her boyfriend breaks up. Well, technically her boyfriend breaks up with her.
Right.
Technically, that's what's happening. She turns it around and says, "No, I'm breaking up with you." Okay.
Yeah.
I was proud of her because he went to that whole table and was like, "Yo, look."
Yeah. And then
you gotta give it up. It didn't work, and she's just like, "I'm breaking up with you." I never had a younger man break up with me.
It's like I love how he's like, "I'm not trying to toy with you."
You're just like.
It's like she scolds him, and then she goes out and drops a gift to the homeless guy, and the homeless dude's like, "Oh," we reveal that she was going to give him an anniversary gift. Aww. And there's going to be a lot. There was a lot of questions were going to have to be answered, and I'm sure there's, because I'm not for sure on everything. All right, so that happens. So then, because she's so upset, she's walking down the road, and what happens? We introduce Mr.
She kicks a can. Which, baffles me. If she kicks it forward,
Yeah.
how does it have time to hit the wall, turn back around, and hit him? That's some strong wind.
It's Korea. The
I was
weather's
like,
really
that
weird.
wind.
The weather's really unpredictable in Korea.
And then, how could it hit him perfectly? There's like a whole windshield.
And then he like runs into the wall.
Yeah.
Hits his bumper. And
gets a bloody nose.
And yeah, what happens here? He goes, he jumps out of the car and said, "What do you think? Who do you think you are? What do you?" And he's like, she's like, "I don't care."
You throw this? No. Did you kick it? Yeah. You gonna pay for my car? No. That's how I basically went.
And for some reason, he tells her it's $3,000, which is
Well, I would have believed it too.
I probably would have.
They didn't know what a Lexus 430 was. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it must be $3,000.
Yeah, of course, yeah. There's like she doesn't drive, so that adds insult to it too, because like she don't know.
And she's a college student, so she ain't got her driver's license, so she ain't gonna know.
A high school student.
Yeah, ain't she a high school student?
Yeah, you said college.
Oh, I'm getting the ending mixed up with her. My bad.
All right, so but the funny thing is, she just like runs off.
She was like, police. He fell for it.
She pulls a Cartman from South Park.
She's like the road runner.
And she's
was
gone.
gone.
She's gone. And then the next thing you know, we have another fantasy scene where she thinks that the cops are coming after her because. But the thing is, she leaves her billfold behind, or pocketbook, and has her student ID, everything he needs to find her. And it comes to find
Everything.
Come to find out, she lives right across the street from him, from his flat there, or studio apartment, however you want to say, nice little apartment across the street. One of those you got to be buzzed in before you can come up there, and which is another funny scene we'll get to. And
Oh yeah.
so he finds her, and of course she just like hangs up on him, and thinks I'll be all right. And so until she comes to school, and all the girls think this is her new boyfriend, but it ain't.
Shoot. I want mine. Yeah, mine. She didn't do that, did she? She went with.
He grabs her and throws her over his shoulder, and walks off with her, and makes a deal with her. And what's that deal, Sierra?
To be basically his slave for 100 days.
Because it's at $30 a day, will come to $3,000.
I don't know if I'm worth $30. I mean, $30 a day. You're gonna have to bump it up a little bit. With how much work she was doing, I'm gonna call labor law.
Call labor law for $30. This is during
He
when
was working her to the bone.
Yeah. Well, then he threatens to call her parents, and for some strange reason, she don't want her parents involved. And
She could have just threatened her dad.
yeah, but she was like, no, I don't want parents involved. Don't do that. Whatever you do. So she signs it and everything, and then he keeps her student ID. So she's got to have that back, because he's got it now for 100 days.
Mm-hmm.
So
she ain't getting it back until it's over.
Exactly, until that, because she probably wants to go to college, or trying to. Well, she's not at this time. She's not really She's not really a motivated person at this time, which is really.
Yeah, we ain't She's just like, if I get there, I get there. If I don't, I don't.
She don't care.
She don't care.
So, and then of course, because of this, all the girls think that's her new boyfriend, and of course, they're like, "Oh, you got the cutest boyfriend!" And then of course, she plays along with it.
Yeah, he asked to be my slave.
And then the next thing she gets a phone and she's on the toilet talking to him. No, I got 2 more classes to go to. So she sprays herself in the eye.
What does she spray herself with?
Who knows? You girls got all kinds of stuff that you put on your bodies that could blind you for life.
I don't know what she sprayed, but that girl got some red eye.
I know. The guy was like, look at her. Ah! Here, take the day off. You know? You could probably do that with hairspray.
I am not spraying. Oh, she was dedicated then.
She was very
I ain't spraying no hairspray, ma.
Oh, it would probably make you go blind. And
That girl was dedicated. He, come here now. I got 2 classes left. Well, come here now. You gonna wait. What you gonna do? Come get me? Go ahead. Come through the gates. Go ahead. Go ahead. I want to see this.
of course, this was one of my favorite scenes of the movie, and which I love this to death. I really do. So she goes up there to the apartment, like, so you gotta be buzzed in, and he sees her on security. He says, "Say the password." She's like, "What's the password?"
He whispers to her, Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
So she whispers back. She goes, Sailor Moon. He's like, you gotta be louder than that. So she goes, Sailor Moon. Then he was like, you gotta act it like her. And for a second, I thought she was gonna walk away.
Yeah.
Because she had her head down, she was shuffling feet. And she runs up real quick and she does a little Sailor Moon way. And this woman comes out of the elevator. Just look her up and down. I was like,
She crazy.
sis got caught. Then he finally let her in.
But that girl adds humor even further after this, which will get. She goes in there, and of course he said, "Makes you act like Sailor Moon," which is really funny. Then he goes in there and says, "You need to do this, all these chores before my dad gets here." So she puts on the CD, and they have like a Korean version of "I Will Survive," which was really. And so
I found that funny too.
That was great. And then, but the funny thing was the laundry scene. So she throws the whole box of detergent in the laundry.
I don't judge her. I don't think she'd done her clothes before.
That was me when I first started washing clothes when I was a bachelor. It's like, how do you do
I Googled it.
Throw the thing in there. Well, just pop it open. Then she did the dishes and all that kind of thing. And this is, like I said, very cute. It's like the Maximum thing where she's looking at the girl in the Maximum. She's
gonna look her hair
in the pauses. And then she just dirtied up her Sailor Moon, not her Sailor Moon, but her schoolgirl outfit.
That girl went through it. She went through it. She tried her best, but at the same time, not trying her best.
So then his dad comes in, our Mr. Arrogant, and his dad comes in.
You get hit with the rag.
He gets hit with the rag, and then he's like, "Are you dating a minor?"
Might as well say yes at that point.
And
technically we are.
Technically we are dating a minor, and she
100 days saved.
It goes
pretty much.
So, which, he gives her some money, which really to me is the most, degrading thing you could possibly do to anyone. Which, yeah, I know how you would act. You'd be like, you wouldn't even take the money. You'd spit in his face, probably.
I'm burning the whole apartment down.
But it's like, hands her and what does he say to her? He goes like, get some fortune cookies.
Oh, I can't remember what he said.
Yeah, and that goes back to when they had dinner, and he says, "I don't eat with slaves."
Oh yeah, the part. Yeah. I was like, that's so disrespectful. And then I was like, girl, you should have kicked him.
Yeah. Yep.
What's his daddy gonna do?
So she's got the money. She's in the elevator. Her outfit is just like in a mess and ruffles, and
she got a sock torn on her ankle. Yeah. Her little ribbons taken off. Her pigtails messed up.
And this is one of them neighbors that you would have like really nosy, and that's what she reminds me of. Looking at like it's none of her business what's going on,
Like, girl, mind your business.
and,
Keep it going.
and so she's looking at the money, and she's seeing her doing this with her hand.
She's over it because her wrist was popping.
Yeah,
So she was shaking it,
yeah.
and then her. It was
I'm glad.
going like
I'm glad.
this. She was imagining
Yeah,
it.
I'm glad that you
just, like-
explained it to me because.
And then she started licking her lips. I was like, girl, you're reading too much into this.
I don't know. I've never seen a girl after something like that lick her lips. Usually, maybe clean or got a breath mint.
That girl, she went through it trying to clean that house.
But the nosy
She
girl.
really-
But the nosy girl's like.
It's not the same girl who watched her do the Sailor Moon.
Yeah, that's the one.
So is it really weird?
Yeah.
That you see her doing this? Come on now.
Well, it's like I think it's one of those stuck up. She's like really stuck up.
I mean, she did clutch her purse
Yeah,
mighty
exactly.
hard.
She was stuck up, and then she like takes that money and goes.
She's like, "You want it?" She was confused. She didn't know what was happening.
Oh yeah, because she was like, I think too, she would have gone off on him if his dad wasn't there. She said, you know, you're lucky you're dead here because I would have popped you in the balls hard.
Would have.
I'd kick you in the face. All right.
You would have deserved it.
So that established the first scene and of what we're dealing with, Mr. Arrogant. And so where are we at right here? So, and like I said, we get to the point where she finds out because it's kind of her day off from school. And her dad is checking out the girl and next door. And then, of course, he wrecks his car. And so they go to the body place, and the dude's like, you know, one that he can, you know as a friend. And so what did she find out there?
Any model, it only costs about $20 to repaint the bumper. $20, and this dude told her it was $3,000 for his Lexus 430. What's Lexus 430? Because they kept saying Lexus 430, Lexus 430.
Right. Well, yeah, because it's like, I mean, that's expensive.
And she lost it.
Oh, I would too. I mean, she was mad. And when I first saw this next scene where she got back at him, I just died laughing because she's got this little toy baby, and she's saying that, "This is my baby, Daddy. Someone please find him. He's in a Lexus 430."
He ran away. He ran out on his family. I was like, you go, girl. Pump it up a little bit. And then when I saw what she did to his car, I was like, yes, girl, that's what you need to do.
Oh, my goodness. It was like, he's really upset. But, of course, one thing, though, was confusing because, like, you know, of course, I'm not going to say that it kind of a plot hole, but, you know, she doesn't want her parents to know what's going on and everything, but she's out there saying that this guy's her baby daddy. It's like, you know, it is a small community. They would find out that she's...
I don't know anymore.
Mom and dad would be, I mean, if mom and dad would be teed off, like, hold up a minute.
Yeah, because ain't dad like a principal there? Like, come on now.
So it would...
He goes to the same place you go.
So, yeah. But, you know, but it's a cute scene regardless because she's trying to do an upper hand and which is basically she's not going to fulfill her contract. So she starts hiding from him. He starts chasing her and he wants revenge.
She ain't getting away from him.
Yeah. Oh, what does he do? He
becomes a tutor. I was like, this man really desperate at this point.
Yeah. Well, and I think, and again, I'll throw this theory out there, is that, you know, to have like a love interest, you've got to convey some type of emotion. And I'll probably say this is the first time that somebody has like got to him, like really created an emotional response. And that's where it usually starts, especially in movies or anything like this. And so
She wasn't obsessed with his face.
yeah. Well, I mean, she was mad at him.
And he's like, "Oh, you going?"
Yeah. And then of course she started hiding from him because he's just gonna. She feels like he's gonna physically kill her, And myself, I would be like telling my parents then, but that's just me.
Yeah, I would have been like, "Yo, Dad."
Or call the cops or something. But I don't know the whole story why she's like hiding all this stuff, but whatever. Yeah. But he's become the tutor. And so he finds out that she's really, really dumb. And basically,
Oh yeah, dumber than me.
She's like,
because I know what 8 times 6 is.
He's like, and so he's like, then he realizes like, you gotta start, if you want to go somewhere, you gotta start, buckling down. He's like, and so his attention from killing her goes to kind of this, and they develop a more, relationship. Like he's got something for the first time to kind of like try to help somebody with instead of just hurting them.
He ain't try to help her not one bit. He was like, "Do you know multiplication?" She was like, "Yeah." He was like, 6 times 8. She's like, 38, 48, 12, 18, something with an 8. He was like, "Okay, do you know English?" She's like, "Yes." And he's like, "How are you?" And she said, "Yes." And he's like, "Oh my God." And she's like, "Oh my God." And then he was supposed to be helping her because he was a tutor. Next scene, he's in her bed eating chips while she over there studying. She probably lost as can be because she don't know what she's studying because she's stupid. She don't know.
So,
and he ain't even helping her.
Yeah. And he's basically just
like, study.
Yeah, he's basically just want to fulfill her contract that she's obligated to. He says because
like a babysitter.
So he's 100 days Mr. Babysitter now. So
yeah, from 100 days Mr. Arrogant to babysitting real quick. I was like, okay.
And of course, then he says for their vacation break, for school vacation break, he invites her to go do something, and
yeah, that's where my little he's rich comes in because how did he get 2 tickets for those 2?
Yeah,
to June Island.
Yeah, I don't know. So he gets tickets for them. Well, we know his father. We know his parents got money, and so he buys the tickets for her parents so they can go on spring vacation. I assume this is like spring break because it's not the end of school. They say summer vacation, but if it was summer vacation, then they wouldn't be. That would be the end of the year.
well, technically, wasn't it in?
Yeah, it's
because wasn't she actually a junior?
I'm not for sure. My understanding, a lot of people say that she's a senior. And then of course, and I think their summer breaks are our spring breaks. Like they have a summer break and then they go back to school, and I think they end like at the end of the year versus like because at the end of the year you'll see them. It's colder. She's wearing a jacket because school is over. Whereas, so they do towards the end of the year. And they have a summer break. I guess I'm just assuming that's the way their school system's set up.
Okay.
That makes sense now. It makes sense now to me because so she's got some time while her parents are away, on this elaborate vacation. So they go on vacation, and all this time she's trying to kindle romance between them two. Because one thing is her friend ends up getting with his friend, and that gives her the feelies, and so she kind of wants to move in too because she sees somebody else happy in love, and so she wants to be loved too, and it's not happening.
He said fine.
In fact, he like shoves her one scene, I think, that way.
It starts to turn though. It starts to turn at the bungee jumping.
Okay, tell us about the bungee jump. How do we get? Because we're going to break Mr. Arrogant down.
So they're gonna bungee jump, right?
Right.
And Well, this girl, she lied about her age by 3 pounds, I think, 3 kgs. She's like, I'm 50. He's like, are you sure? Because the bungee jump will break if you weigh over. She's like, okay, I'm 53. He's like, same difference. And then the guy behind her was like, ain't nobody weigh no 50 kg. And then Mr. Arrogant was like, huh, your girl look like she weighs 60 kg. I was like, and so the other boyfriend was like, Rob Holden was like, she's only 59 kg. He was like, she looks like she's 60. And he was like, you need to watch your mouth. And he was like, you need to watch your girl's weight. I was like,
Oh my
it's like,
goodness.
dang, he went in on them. And then stupid old girl, she looks over. You don't have to look over. She wasn't even hooked up and she looked over.
Oh my
And then she was like, oh, hi. And then she faints.
Oh
And
my
then he's
goodness.
like, oh, mm, mm. And he lays his head on her chest. And then she's in the hospital. Bet you guys she's in the hospital for hitting her dang shit on his head.
Oh wow.
That bungee jump, I bet.
You know, I don't remember that scene, but I'll take your word for it. I can't remember.
I was like so.
I do
liked it.
remember when I remember the one girl like got in the ocean and she was drowning, and the other guy had to kiss her to bring her back, and she
Oh yeah, the
kisses
little kiss
him.
kiss.
Yeah, a little kiss and all that. So, and was there anything else? But anyways, I mean, like I said, there's so much attempt she tries, and it seems like he's kind of like standoffish to her and everything like that.
Oh, and that's at 1 hour, 1 minute, 34 seconds. If you want to watch that scene.
Yeah, why not?
I may have watched it a lot.
All right, so they end the vacation, right? And so they get back, and the parents think that she stayed home all this time, but she didn't.
And she got a lot of pictures.
Yeah,
Oh, she's
and
so cute.
and
I think this is when
he's
started
looking
maturing.
at pictures too of her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
he's
yeah.
like he's getting all the feelies and the memories and all that. It was a good time.
I think this is where the training part was.
Yeah. Where the
She started maturing here.
yeah, exactly. And but
He did too a little bit.
well, one thing, like I said, you know when she start mature because you'll see her hairstyle change and things like that. Because,
Yeah, that's why
yeah,
because when she was sitting at the desk, her hair wasn't
yeah,
it was like smooth. And I was
right.
like,
Yeah, see that, and I think that a lot of times it exemplified because I always know, like, I mean, I had girls when I used to be in the J-pop managers, like, you get the girls in there and they're like 13, 14 years old. They don't even know how to use a tube of lipstick. But by the time they're 15, they look like supermodels, you know? And that's way you can see as the change of the girl gets more mature, is her looks do change a little bit. And that's the reason why I like this movie, because it's so hard. If you like watch a lot of the Korean horror, it's hard to sometimes differentiate certain people because they wear their hairstyle the same and everybody dressed the same and everything like that. And that's just like any movie. It's like we were watching this movie about like rich dudes, and all the rich dudes look alike, and I couldn't tell which rich dude from which rich dude. And I'm like, who am I supposed to keep up with? Like, and this was an American film, so it's not the fact. That's the reason I like, if I'm making a film, everybody's hair is going to be different. Everybody's going to have something to stick out so you can tell them apart. And that's what I liked about this film, is like you can see her change. And another thing, her facial expressions are really, really great because it conveys the emotions that she feels. And like I said, she's really good. I really liked her. And I think that's the reason why this movie works, is those two characters. Like, you see films like, what the who decided them two to be together? It's like if Satan made a romantic comedy or something. You know, it's like, here, these people look good together. I will put them together. You know,
I don't know how it's gonna work, but you will be together today.
yeah, he's like, but this film is not that way. It's like these people look charismatic, and they look really
They
good.
look good together.
Yeah, they look good together, and their facial expressions are really, really great to convey the emotions, which is what you want in an actor and an actress, and it works really, really well. And so let's skip to the 100 days because she's thinking this is the most confusing part to me, and I don't know if they're open to interpretation, whatever it is. So he's driving down the road and he sees an ad for the 100-day anniversary gift, right? Okay, he goes and get it, and the anniversary gift. Well, we figure he was anyways. It wasn't like that hard, but all right. Do you think he did it to mock her, or do you think he did it because he had at this time become in love with her?
I think he did it because he became in love with her now.
Okay, so even before the dinner, so they have this dinner, and she's thinking it's because it's his birthday.
His birthday.
Like it's for the anniversary because the 100 days are up. Right.
She survived.
So she survived, and they're at this place, I guess. And I've seen, what do you call those drinks? Because I've seen people do it before. They put like dirty socks and everything. There's a certain type of drink. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but we just call it a punishment drink.
Yeah, punishment drink. I mean, he just like, it looks like throw up.
Because she was supposed to drink it.
Yeah, he grabs it.
She would, and he just thumbs up. And I was
He
just like,
chuggles it. He chugs
you
it.
must really love her. I'm doing that for nobody.
So that is it. See, I didn't catch that analogy. So the analogy is he took her punishment for her.
The Black Knight he was.
There you go. The Black Knight.
That's what they call him. And like
guess
if the person takes your punishment, you're their Black Knight, not the White Knight.
Not the White Knight. Oh, that's
because you didn't see them coming.
See, I thought I could write romances, but I think you could do better than I can.
I've watched over 100 of them. I know the rules by now.
At one time I really did consider about like writing, because used to you could buy those self-help books on how to write romance novels, and of course one thing they teach you is like replace every body part with something else, like a different type of describing. You can't use the actual body part name because that's unattractive, but you can like replace it with something else. Instead, like you're describing the nose, his peak or the beak of his mouth was the radiance of the sun would shine right off his beak, and like a glorious bird as he looked down upon the other birds that were just lying down on the beach, and that's how you do that, and you gotta be careful. It's like that, but
because I really thought you was talking about a bird.
But you're talking about his pristine part of being like the cock of the walk, basically, of that kind of thing. Not writing 101, folks. Don't listen to a word I'm saying. So I'm just giving you an idea of what on my perception on my side. So he's dropping her off. Do you want to go over this, or do you want me to go over this?
Oh, you're so cute. You do it. It's so cute.
No, you can do it.
So he's dropping her off.
Right.
Right. Walking her to her little house. And like she's a little sad. Cause she don't think, they're going, it's over.
Right.
Being needed by him's over now. So like she thinks they're not gonna be as, and he's just standing there, and she goes like, to me it looks like she tilts to turn away a little bit, and he grabs her and kisses her. After almost 2 hours, we finally get a kiss. But guess who's watching?
Mama.
Ruins it all for us.
So he gets a reality check. What happens?
So Mama pulls him in, right?
Yeah.
Sits him down and it's like, stay away from my daughter. Trying to play with her in public, stay away from her.
Yeah.
and fires her for the tutor
Mm-hmm.
and hires a different tutor. And you know what he does? He packs up and leaves.
Yep.
You heard me right. Packs up and leaves.
That's right.
So this is where I start getting pissed at him. So you just gonna give up like that? Quit that easy? Girl, you don't need him. Get with this tutor.
Well, let me ask you a question though. I mean, I don't. Here's the thing: is like, I don't know what the laws is over there, but in my opinion, like you got a 19-year-old boy and a 17-year-old girl, big deal. That's only 2 years difference. Because like she'll be 18 and be 21. He'll be 20 or whatever. So it's no big deal, right? But you're thinking, I'm wondering if she's like threatening to call the cops on him or something like that.
I don't know, cause all the dramas I've watched like this back in the day, there was always like a 5-7 year gap, and the parents were okay with it in this time period. Like I know there was one where she literally agreed for her to get married to him, and he was like a sophomore and junior in college, and she was just entering senior year. And I was just like, okay, because I think they're different. Because like,
I have no idea, because it's like, and it's a shame too. We probably know so many Korean people. We just should like call them and ask them. But we're like,
we should at this point. We're like,
hey, hold on a minute. Let me call.
Let me get to. But it's nighttime over there, so
yeah, exactly. Don't call someone.
But I think, because like all of them. Because if you bring home like someone that's like 2 years older than the parents, not a big fan because they're not mature.
Yeah.
And then if you bring someone 5 year older, they're like, oh yes, get married, move out. And I'm just like, is it different back then? Nowadays they don't care. They
it's like she's only 17. And he's like probably 19 or 20. So it's not really a big issue because, like I said, she's going to college. She's got to finish off and everything be fine. And it's not. So I guess that's really not the thing. He just like, I think maybe, do you think maybe that he might be drowned in guilt? Oh.
Probably. What?
All right. She needed motivation. Because she was like not going to go to college.
Oh yeah, she was.
So now with him going, she's wanting to go to the same college that he's in.
I mean, that was some deep motivation.
Right. And because if you read some of the reviews, that's what they say is like, oh, now she studies hard so she can get into Hyunjoon's college. But my only issue is, and I agree, if I took the script and that was what, I just think they could have made it more like noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really do that. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It wouldn't insult me if they were just trying to make that as her goal.
I mean, I didn't know that's what was going to happen. So, like, I was really mad at him for leaving her.
Yeah. Well, the idea is, like I said, it was a
him.
time apart. And like I said, I think I do remember this give me so many feelies like the first time I watched it. Like, it was, like, really sad because I felt like, oh, my gosh, it's over with because she's too young for him and he's, like, got to get on with his life because he's, like, the rich guy and every guy do his thing, whatever. And I thought that was, like, the whole thing is, like, whatever. Like, you got to go back in time is, like, it's so weird. Like, the drama is when you break up with somebody, it's, like, the reasons that you pick, it's like I said, some of the dumbest you break up people over the dumbest reasons sometimes, and you're like, when you get older, you're like, man, that was just dumb. But it's just part of it. It's like I was telling you, I broke up with a girl because, I was away from her and I had more fun away from her than when I was with her. So I thought, well, this ain't gonna work out. But that's not a good enough reason to break up with somebody. Not really, but. Of course, she pulled a whole Hyunjoon too with me. She was like, well, that's fine. That's what I was intending to do, break up with you as well. So it's okay. Well, let's works out good.
I'm gonna do this to you. I was trying to find their age. It don't have her age or
I
his age.
I don't think that's important. You know,
I was just wanting to see.
maybe I think that like
Would drive me insane.
I mean, what if she was like really slow and she had to stay in school another year?
Let me just not embarrass her then.
All right, let's get this out. Okay, so like I said, romantic comedies, you got time apart, and they give her this tutor who's just as cute as she is. So, and all this time she's starting to change. She's getting more mature. Like I said, her looks are changing. She's starting to look smarter. She's not acting like a kid anymore during this time.
She's not crying over him anymore.
No, she's moved on. She's mature. So we get the announcement for college. And what happens?
Her name's not on there.
No! Don't be telling me that!
Her name is not on there.
Yeah, it's so many Phillies.
I was so sad for her.
Oh yeah, it's like this movie like drops you to the lowest low point. Like, what's the purpose of living anymore?
I was like, you might as well eat off a building at this point.
You're like eating your ice cream, going, you life, and it's.
I really felt bad for her. Like, she
Well,
tried her hardest.
it's like, yeah, because you're like, and y'all, this is exactly the way you feel when you see this. It's like you are totally peeved because this girl is like buckled down now. She didn't deserve what she got with Mr. Arrogant. She didn't deserve not getting in after she worked hard. Okay. So, what happens?
The tutor takes her drinking.
Yep.
Well, not drinking, but like a snack, I guess.
Yeah.
Cause she wasn't drunk when they went on a walk.
Right.
So I don't know if it was a drinking or if it was like a depressed Coke shot. I don't know. The tutor took her out and she was like, I got rejected from 5 of them. And the last one put me on the wait list. I was like, oh, okay.
Are you trying to make me feel better?
I don't want to be on a wait list for the 15th student.
I would say what she got was what they call a comfort drink. That makes sense. Like,
yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
That does make more sense.
Like it's just.
And then they're gonna walk,
Mm-hmm.
and she leaves her. And I was like, where's she going? There's nothing there.
Yeah.
So
Not this time because it's so dark.
Yeah, it was so dark. I was like, where's she gonna go? And then, like, I didn't understand it yet.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
And then I realized how dark it really got, and I was like, how that cloud have sky and this cloud doesn't have
Right.
sky? I went, oh, and then boom, lights turn on.
Yeah. And fireworks.
And who does she see? Mr. Arrogant himself.
Yeah.
I was so mad at him. I wasn't putting two and two together.
Until he explains what happens.
That made me so more pissed off.
How's that?
Like, this girl has been studying, working, workbook after workbook after workbook to get into this college. She actually makes it.
Right.
He gives her the acceptance letter.
Right.
He called in 3 favors to get her name off the acceptance list.
Right.
So he could surprise her.
Right.
Square up. Oh, I never been so mom. Oh, I was like, girl, you better leave him still.
Well, I think he was testing her love.
It made me so mad.
But then one thing, though, he explained to her why he had to leave. He did do that.
Still, he could have, like, you know.
That the
nowadays
mom,
they send like letters.
Yeah, the mom found him and everything like that. I think too that the mom. I tell you what, the mom could have done. She could have told him that she was going to turn him into the tutor union, if there was one.
I don't know if there. I don't know how she felt. I would have been a little skeptical if he saw it coming out supermarket.
Yeah.
To the elevator.
Right.
To your front door.
Right.
but nobody else's door.
Right.
Sis, could have got her kidnapped.
But so many Phillies, we get together, right? And
I'm confused on the ending though.
okay.
Are they like? Cause you know how it's basically a cycle
Yeah.
with her, right? Did they like break up?
No. She's talking to him on the phone because they're married now, and he's asking him if he did all
Yeah.
his chores because she's in charge because she's the wife, right? Did you do all the garbage and everything like that? So she runs into the boy, and since the boy's younger, basically going to put him to work to help
Yeah, that's
them
why I was
out.
confused.
Well, it makes sense because it's like their life is so busy. Like they're into this, just married phase, running around with their new jobs and everything like that.
So she's gonna make him a slave.
Basically, so that they make that because she's on the phone going like, "Did you take out the garbage?" Just like a regular wife. And did you do all these things? We got company coming over, and so like. Life is hectic when you get first married because you're like moving into a new apartment. You got all this stuff going on. You got parties all the time. You got friends getting married as well that are starting out. So being newlywed is like the most hectic thing in the world, right? So she runs into this guy, and let me explain, guys. All right, so what happens is like the cycle restarts again. So instead of it's her hitting him with the can, this kid. Young boy hits her with the can. She runs into a wall in the Lexus because she's now married to Mr. Arrogant. And so she says, well, there's one thing you can make it up to me.
You know what I just noticed?
Yeah.
You know how at the very beginning, her Prince Charming had blonde hair?
Right.
This kid had blonde hair.
Ooh, we think it was played by the same character. So you're looking into something that I don't think would work.
I'm not saying. I'm not hinting at her cheating on her husband.
Well, I'm not saying that she's going to. I really doubt it because it would ruin her character.
I'm just saying. I just noticed he has blonde hair. We started with blonde hair and we're ending.
Yeah, but see,
with
she
the male
got
with blonde
upset though. She didn't want that guy in the Snow White. Remember, she screamed because he was trying to kiss her. So that's not who she wanted. All right, let's touch bases. Comments. I'll say this: it's a cute movie, and of all the romantic comedies that I watch in time, I probably like this one a lot better than like a lot of the American romantic comedies, only because it's like different. And if you feel me, like some of the romantic comedies that Americans have are like they get in this rut, and this one kind of spices that whole thing up. You know what I'm saying? And there's some parts that just makes you laugh. I mean, I like the baby daddy part just still today. Every time I watch that, because he like throws the baby, it's a little bitty. Guys, it's not a real baby. It's a baby doll.
He eats that baby.
It is so
She's like, you throw my baby?
It's so cute. I mean, that's the thing. The whole montage with her cleaning, that scene, the Sailor Moon thing, those things right there grabs your attention at the beginning of the film. And of course, like I said, it gets you drawn in and then it takes you down so that you get these feelies between the characters. I mean, it's like if you got characters that you don't like and they're trying to get together, you're just not going to be into it. And so, I mean, as far as romantic comedies go, of the ones I see, this is probably one of the best. Like, if I had a new girlfriend or something, I'd watch it with her. Now, as far as standing the test of time and how the girls would feel about the guy treating her that way, I don't know. I don't know what the girls, how they would feel, whatever, but I'll let Sierra do that because last time I checked, she was a girl. So, what's your comment on the whole thing, movie as is, though?
It's good. It's definitely a classic. Because I've watched a lot.
Right.
Like I said, it's definitely a classic. But it's not one of the best I've seen.
Right.
But it's still really, really good. For that time period.
Right.
They did portray the characters really good.
Yeah.
Because he really showed that he was arrogant. Um, he really showed it.
Guys,
Um,
and that's the whole thing. It's like if you get go in the film and say, "Well, that guy's just arrogant,"
when he's
that's
supposed to be.
that's what he's supposed to be. Is like
That's what he's getting paid for.
spoilers alert. He's arrogant.
It's in the title. Come on now, keep up. Let's go.
So no, I mean when you say in comparison, what movies are you comparing it to? Because I'm just going by American romantic comedies. If I would say this is, if you compare it with American, I think it's one of the best. If, I mean, I not, like I said, I watched Mr. Sassy or Miss, is it Mr. Sassy or Miss Sassy, and movies like that, and Spy Girl and My Sassy Girl. I watched those in Spy Girl and stuff like that.
Stop it.
What?
Stop it.
Okay, well,
Not you. Sorry.
it's okay. Okay. I mean, I've watched those movies, and still, like I said, it's one of the best. When you say comparing, and you've seen a lot, what movies are you talking about that you're comparing it with?
I'm thinking about like I've seen like hundreds of romance K dramas
Yeah.
and movies. I've seen hundreds of Chinese dramas
Yeah.
and romance. Asian Thai. I've seen a lot, like
Right.
almost any Asian one, and I've seen like about 50 to 75
Yeah.
American romance ones.
Right.
And so like I was comparing it to like the newer,
Yeah.
like the newer thing.
Well, it's going to be a little different. Yeah, I would say that's the thing that I think a lot of people might struggle with is because it is, 2004 when this was done. Okay. And things have changed in 17 years. And
Yeah.
so that would be something that would be, you'd have to explain, especially if you're dating a 17-year-old. But, I'm not planning to anytime soon. But,
Careful, careful, careful.
but, like I said, that's one thing that I wondered about, Um, you know, I mean, was there anything that stood out that kind of like, besides the cell phones? Obviously, the cell phones are
They
very,
were so cute.
but that probably is the only thing that dates the movie. But as far as like relationship wise, is that dated in any way? Any of those things?
I was really hoping that the other friend, because you know how she has two
Yeah,
friends, I was hoping the other friend would get in a relationship too.
yeah,
I was really hoping it.
yeah.
Because one did. What about the other one? You gonna leave them both hanging?
You think that girl's a cat lady now?
Yeah.
She's on
She got
Facebook.
she got abandoned.
She's on Facebook and she's writing political posts and sitting with 100 cats.
Nagging at people. I could have been where you at. And me and Fluffy over here.
She's got her own little blog. Nobody wants to be around her. She's and all that could have happened. She could have fallen in love. All right, so
Oh,
I recommend watching it especially if you're in a relationship or if you're not in a relationship. If you just want to see cute Korean people, I recommend it. What about you?
I mean, if you have been watching like 2021 dramas and
Yeah.
2020 dramas, um, I do recommend you do School first,
Right.
School 2015 first, because that one will set you up a little bit to start getting into the older dramas like these.
Right.
Because if you try to go straight from the 2021, 2020 dramas into these, you're not going to be interested at all. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Right.
So I do recommend because School 2015, it's not like a 2020 or 2021. It's still a newer
Yeah.
drama, but the plot is kind of like the older ones, and the setting is too. So it will get you like used to the older ones.
I can see that. I really can. Well, guys, we want to thank y'all for joining us for this discussion, and make sure you subscribe, link, and share. Click on some of the products that we promote right now. So you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll go
Who's your daddy?
Want to start podcast? It's easy. Just click on the link below. PodBean has everything for you, all the tools you need, from advertising your podcast or just plain ideas to starting a podcast. Click on the link below and get 1 month free with PodBean.